I now want to distinguish between two terms concerning Dajjal. One is his release and the other is his khuruj. Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam is in Medina, and Tamim ad-Dari comes to him and tells him about an event which occurred. And the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam then narrates that event. And so we have the story from the lips of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. When I analyze it, I come to the conclusion, this is my opinion, and let me give a warning, do not ever accept my opinion unless you are convinced that it is correct. Show respect for your own rational faculty. Study the subject before you accept my opinion. My opinion is that this was not an actual event, but rather a vision. Tamim ad-Dari said that he and some of his companions were on board a ship, and a storm came and blew the ship for a whole month until they came to an island. When they got off the ship, came on shore on the island, they were confronted by a very hairy beast or creature. So much hair you could not tell which side was head and which side was tail. And the creature spoke and said, I am just a spy. So this is an island located about a month's journey by sea from the Arab world. This is an island which has expertise in spying and espionage. And then Jassasa said to them, there's someone waiting for you over there at that monastery which is lying in ruins. And so in this island, religion is going to crumble. It will eventually be an island of atheists. So they hurried to the monastery which was lying in ruins. And there they saw this man in chains. His hands were chained to his neck and his feet were chained together. And the man asked them many questions and then declared that I am Dajjal. And when I am released, I will enter every town and every city. So up to that moment in Medina, Dajjal was still in chains. This must have been perhaps in the 2nd or 3rd year after the Hijrah. Up to this moment, Dajjal is still in chains. He has not as yet been released. But sometime later, Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam suspected a Jewish boy to be Dajjal, because Dajjal is going to be a Jew and he could be a young man. And the Prophet ﷺ went to question the boy. The boy was rather impertinent in his answers. And Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu got angry. He said, O Messenger of Allah, give me permission. I cut off his head. No, said the Prophet ﷺ. If he is Dajjal, you cannot kill him, implying that the possibility exists that he can be Dajjal. But that possibility can only exist if Dajjal has been released. In consequence of which we know that we are given indirectly the information of the release of Dajjal in this event. And if he is not Dajjal, it would be sinful to kill him. And so we conclude that Dajjal was released in the lifetime of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But the khuruj of Dajjal is something else. For that I must now turn to another hadith. And now we have symbolism. The Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when Dajjal is released, he will live on earth for 40 days. One day like a year, one day like a month, one day like a week, and all his days, meaning all the rest of his days, like your days. A day like a year is different from a day which is like our day. It is only when Dajjal is in a day which is like our day, in our world of space and time, Only then can we see him. But when he is in another world of space and time, can we see him? No. And so Dajjal is in other worlds of space and time, but here, in the first stage and the second stage and the third stage of his mission. It is only when he completes the third stage, a day like a week, only then would he enter into our world of space and time. It is when he enters into our world of space and time that he will be in the form of a human being. And when he is ready to emerge, to perform the last stage of his mission, that will be his khuruj. Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam said in a hadith recorded in the Sunan of Abi Dawood, he said, at that time when Jerusalem will be flourishing, center stage as it is today, at that time Medina would be in a state of desolation, playing absolutely no role whatsoever in Islamic affairs or world affairs. That's Medina today. At that time the Malhama will take place, the Great War, which will make the First and Second World War look like peanuts. That's coming. But I feel it is going to be a series of wars which will culminate with the nuclear warfare. At that time, when the Malhama occurs, at that time Constantinople would be conquered. They didn't want us to know this, so they changed the name from Constantinople to Istanbul. So we'll forget this hadith. The conquest of Constantinople is still to take place. And then he went on to say, Fathul Constantiniya Khurujud Dajjal. Only after Constantinople has been conquered, only then will Dajjal come out in person to complete his mission. Khuruj. So the release took place a long time ago, but the Khuruj is still to take place. It's coming, and it will not take place until Constantinople has been conquered.